Hello, Internet Land. We are back again with the Soul Society, a podcast. I got distracted because Jenny waved and my brain went, ooh, happiness. It's one of those days. I don't expect us to have any sort of serious conversation today. Good luck with that. I hope you enjoy the fun. If nothing else, we will be laughing. I have learned that one of my regulars, I guess I would call them, has actually listened to everything I've put out so far. So I'm going to take a moment here and say hello, Jackie, before we move forward, because it's only right to do so. So for those of you who haven't been involved or pick up on this sometime in the future, I'm Angie, psychic medium. With me today is Jenny. She is an Akashic Records practitioner. We meet up to record these fun podcasts where we ramble all about metaphysical and paranormal things and play the drinking game of how many times can Angie say the word fun. I did not realize how much I used that word until I started the podcast. Today's conversation is all about divination tools. So we are going to talk about some of the I'm not using the word fun, some of the really neat items that we use to interact with the other side. I, for one, absolutely love having a way to share with other people where they don't have to just trust what I say. Yep. Because I don't know about the rest of the world, but I definitely have trust issues. And being able to see it for myself at the same time that someone is saying it is that extra level of confirmation that can sometimes feel more comfortable and just really nail that topic or that information that Spirit gives right in. Hi, Spirit. I love you guys too. The Spirit world says hello. They're already chatting today. And as we have discussed, my goal is to show off what it's like to be a psychic. Therefore, I will let them interrupt me and play as we go.
You said that really well. I see it like giving you something tangible from the information. Like it's a way to connect the divine and the human world in something tangible.
I like to see them as a language. Yes. Right? Yep. There are a million ways that the spirit world can talk to you. Mm-hmm. And using divination tools is just 50 different languages to get the same information. Yep. And we all need different languages. So every single one of us is drawn to other, like our own unique things that line with us. And I also find that on an individual scale, I have different tools for different positions I'm in. Yep. Like sometimes I can use one tool, but then if I'm in a bad mood or I'm not trusting myself as much on that one, I might have to pull out a different one or use both at the same time just to make sure I'm understanding it correctly. Yeah. And I love being able to cycle through those because it means that I always have some way to speak to them even when I'm having a rough time. Yeah.
I tend to know which ones I need to go to for what's coming up, right? I definitely use the different tools that I have in different ways when different things are coming up. Yeah.
So far, Jenny, what has been your favorite tool?
The favorite tool I have is the first tool that I got that I still continue to use, and it's an oracle card. It's my Angel Oracle deck. And something always is revealed to me in the most loving way in that deck. I sometimes will pick one card. I will pick 3 cards from that deck, but that is my favorite deck, and it's my first deck, and it's very encouraging, and I always feel healed, or I learned something, or I grew in some way when those cards come up.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I love that you talk about the deck itself being very kind and helpful in that way. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things about tarot decks and oracle decks is the fact that every deck has its own personality. Mm-hmm. It took me like 3 or 4 decks to actually get a very basic Raider-Waite deck, which is the most common. It's the one that when you see things online, they're usually teaching off of that deck. It's the oldest and first official deck for what we know today as tarot. I think the first one I got was a vampire deck, and as much as I loved it, because at that time I was more into those sort of darker, gothic type things, I found that it did give slightly darker messages, or at least it said things in a darker way or a heavier way. And then I grabbed a couple of different decks because to me they're art, and I have quite a few. I like collecting my tarot decks. But as I got different decks, I started to realize that some are softer, some are gentler, some are just blunt, and we'll just put it right out there.
Yep.
So I have specific decks depending on the mood that my brain is in and how I want to take the information.
Yes.
Because sometimes I just need a deck to be nice to me.
Yes.
But sometimes I need it to look at me and be like, do this, witch. Hey, I managed to say my word without saying my word. I'm proud of myself.
Good job. Good job.
It's a work in progress. So let's go ahead and get started then on talking on the oracle cards and the tarot decks, because that's a great divination tool, right?
Yes.
Technically, when it comes to divination, the actual definition of divination is any tool that is used to receive information that is outside of your normal everyday physical stuff. So, geez, that's tarot decks, astrology, numerology. Back in the day, like in colonial America, they would use nuts and how the nuts cracked in the fire.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They would read those.
So cool.
That's where apple bobbing comes from.
Okay.
You would bob the apple and then they would peel it, and whatever letter the peel looked like was the initial of the person you were going to marry.
Wow.
Oh yeah, divination has been it is recorded all the way back as far as like Egypt and Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
So basically, as far back as we have record of humans, there has been some type of divination being used.
Yeah.
So congrats, psychics are not nearly as new or different as we think we are. We've always been here.
Yeah.
We've just gone back and forth over whether or not society likes us. And I guess that depends on whether or not we're telling them what they want to hear.
Yeah. And then, once I started to play with these tools, I looked back on my childhood. I'm like, wait a minute. My grandma made a pendulum when I was younger, and I remember her putting it over our wrists, and we would do different things. She'd bring it out during baby showers. Like all of a sudden I'm remembering these tools that I saw as a child that they were just using. And then when I started to use it on my own, I'm like, wait a minute, this has been in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. They're just fancier now. And we buy them purposely for that.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Awesome. So you have your Angel Oracle deck. What is the difference to you personally between your Oracle deck and your Tarot deck?
So I use the two decks. Usually the Tarot I use when I know there's something there and I can't put my finger on it. And the Oracle I tend to use as a weekly preventative care.
Okay.
I like to use my Oracle deck as preventative care.
That's a fun way to do that.
Yeah. And I do that actually with tarot sometimes too. Just like, okay, give me a little story in my tarot deck. And then, okay, how does that story fit in? Might this story work this week? Or I can pull those stories out depending on what state I'm in.
That's a great way to use that.
Yeah.
My understanding for the difference between Oracle and Tarot. So like I have my Oracle deck here, which is a fun one. They tend to have less cards. They're a little bit more to the point, and they have like words and keywords and things on the actual cards themselves. So they are basically an intro level to reading cards. And then your Tarot deck has a total of 72 cards, usually. Occasionally, they'll add an extra one here or there. And they relate to big life lessons or small life lessons, and you can use them to create entire stories.
Yeah.
So basically, you ask it a question, there's different layouts that you can use, or you can just do whatever feels right. And they will help you fill in the details and really delve into all of the minute aspects of human life.
Yeah.
So it's like we've got our very basic, this is what you need to know in a very simple way, which is much easier for some people. And honestly, some days are just fantastic for me. So I pull out the Oracle. Or you have okay, I'm really going to get into the depths of this. But it also takes more learning because you have to learn all the different cards and even understanding how they work together. So it's just a slightly more complex language. And then there are different types of tarot decks that take that even further. I was given the Thoth deck, Thoth. I haven't played with it a lot. They tend to be very, very blunt and like a little harsh in the way that it talks to you. So it is one of those where I'm a little hesitant to play with this deck, but I'm sure it'll be fantastic too. Versus the deck that I often use, that Jenny knows, that is all fairy tales and kind and sweet and fun.
Well, it's funny because I think truly I had hesitation when I started tarot because I think I didn't know what it was, number one. And I knew some of the cards. I knew there was a death card. I knew there was the devil card, So I think prior to me using tarot, there was a bit of fear. Like, what is this? I don't know what this is. I don't understand it. What do I do if I get those cards? What do those cards mean? But the more, of course, that I then dove into that deck, I looked at the photos, I learned what those cards meant. Oh, wait a minute, it's not that at all, right? So I think I had fear going into tarot and hesitant to use it. And now that I'm using it, it's maybe been a couple months now, I absolutely love the tarot deck.
And it helps to have ones that aren't that scary, especially if you are nervous about them. And right?
They're so insightful.
So many decks.
They're so insightful to me. So insightful. Yeah.
And it's fun. Like I have, for Christmas, I was given the Hocus Pocus deck. I've got the Disney villains, right? Some of those are just fun.
Yes.
But it's also really neat to see the different personalities because the first half of that deck has very specific personality types for cards. Being able to see those characters and relate them to the type of character in the tarot, it's a great way to learn that from something I already have reference to.
Yeah.
So I think that that's really neat. But that's a really good point. Tarot is something that growing up in the church, there was definitely a lot of negative talk about. My first experience with tarot was actually kind of funny. I went to, it was high school, and I went to a sleepover, and one of the girls there was learning tarot, so she wanted to do readings for us. Poor thing, neither of us really realized what she was getting into. Because at the time I was really trying to figure out how to fit in. So of course I was numbing myself to who I really was and what I am. And the tarot, of course, we sit down and it starts going off on all sorts of interesting things. She was so confused. She actually looked at me and said, you know what? It's not really sure. We'll have to look at it again later, which was her way of saying, I'm not sure, but she blamed the cards as though the cards were confused, which is extra funny now that I use them because I know that the cards are never confused. They're blunt. We just might not understand what they're saying.
Yeah, that's great. The very first time someone read tarot for me, it was a middle schooler. But I was an adult. I'm working in the school. It's the end of the school year field trip. So the kids are having fun. We're just kind of interacting, making sure everyone's behaving. one of the students had a tarot deck, and they're like, "Oh, can I read your tarot?" I'm like, "Sure, let's do it." And she drew cards for me, and I'll never forget it because she goes, "Oh my goodness, you had one from every suit. That's really cool." Like, and her words ring in my ears all the time because she was really excited to give me the message.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was such a kind, sweet, and also the look on her face, like it just really hit me in the heart. So
That
I'll
is
never forget
amazing.
that first tarot
All right.
read for me.
Debbie, you got to stop walking. You're shaking it. Yeah, this doesn't work.
I know my cats
We've
are
got all
quiet.
sorts of attention.
Yes.
And because I have this on a stand, it shakes now. So we're going to have to work through that. So I'll have to find a sturdier way to do this so it doesn't shake every time she walks by.
Yep.
She's very excited about the tarot today, apparently. Anyway, that is amazing. I can't even imagine what it was like, what it would be like to be able to do tarot in middle school. Like, imagine how much earlier in life you would have access to information that could really, really help you do self-reflection and understanding of yourself and others. How cool would that be?
And to have an adult see the value in what you're doing. Like that's another thing that I think as a child, to have someone see that value in you only is so encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's neat.
Yeah.
Now, as far as you're concerned, Jenny, where does the information from tarot come from? Because I know when I was growing up, a lot of the fear around the tarot was, of course, in the church, it was fear that it was coming from the more negative spirit.
Yes.
Though, in all honesty, I have plenty of friends now who are Christian who use tarot card as well and angel cards because the two can coexist.
Yes.
But in my section of Christianity, it was very, very evangelical.
Yes.
So this was all evil.
Mm-hmm.
If someone were to ask you, where does this information come from or what are you tapped into, what's usually your answer for that?
Yeah, I would say that it's a supportive energy that has life lessons for you. You know, a caring, loving, divine energy that is looking to help you, is looking to support you, is looking to heal you. You know, that's where I see that energy coming from. And I feel each card has a specific energy from that same source.
And that's similar to how I explain it, right? Like there is that overarching divine energy source that is just universal.
Yes.
And that is what these tap into.
Yeah.
It's not a specific spirit that's playing with them.
Right.
It can give you messages for specific spirits, and they can technically be involved in that.
Yeah.
But it's not like one spirit just sitting there moving all of the cards around or magically making them work. It's not like grandma's necessarily standing in front of you doing that, but that grandmother who's standing there in front of you could be giving you that intuition of, oh, this card, not that card.
Yeah.
Right? But it's less involvement than, say, a spirit giving me a message directly.
Yeah.
There's that overarching protection from it, usually.
Well, I'm glad you said that word protection because, you know, with all of my spiritual tools, I always say for only my highest good and for the highest good of all when I use them. That expectation is in every time I take one of these tools out.
And that's an important way to go about it.
Yes.
Right? And there are fun ways that you can do these, right? You can do daily pulls, you can do weekly pulls, monthly pulls, yearly, whatever you want to do. Sit down with them.
Yep.
I like to think that I am capable of having a routine. But I'm not.
I love your face. I love the pace and the tempo of your words on that, Angie. That was great. That was great.
I'm just learning, at this point, I just am accepting it.
Yeah.
I have dreams of getting up every morning and pulling tarot cards.
Yeah.
It's not who I am.
Yeah.
But I do frequently sit down with them and pull something out and see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
If I have someone to do it with, friends,
Yep.
my ex and I, we pulled cards daily.
Yes.
It definitely helps me keep that routine. So if you have someone to do that with, it's even more fun too, because then you both get to play with what does that mean.
Yes.
So like with my ex, we would each pull a card for the day and then see where it went. Now, the interesting aspect of that is I don't know if it was the decks that we had that were different or if it was our own individual intentions or just whatever. There was some sort of different energies, because hers always were like completely positive 100%, and mine went all over the place. Of sometimes they were just like, go back to fucking bed. Okay, cool. I can do that. Right? Mine were more blunt, but that is a relationship I have with my cards and my spirits. I do have this more open thing of tell me what I need to hear, even if I don't want to hear it. So they are not afraid to be blunt with me in those ways. Whereas my ex was just beginning to learn and wanted to feel more safe. So she did kind of balance more towards or geared more towards that. I need the more positive aspects. And I believe that's what that difference was.
That's so cool.
But keeping in mind that with all tools, even mediumship readings, all of it is affected by your mindset at the time and your emotions. If you are in a place of self-hatred, spirit words that come across sweet as can be can still end up sounding absolutely scary and terrifying. More often than not, it's our own interpretations, not what they're actually saying.
And that's why I like to use mine as this preventative care, because I feel like I'm always, in general, not always, centered when I pull a card. I go in with true curiosity, like, oh, how is this in my life? How does this card make me feel? So I always, not always, but that's why I like the preventative care idea of it. It's like, okay, what can I kind of work on? What can I look at? And now I have learned, even when I am in those states and I do want to find out what's going on, I still have to look at it as, this is here for my highest good.
Yes.
So do you have other tools that you like to use?
I do. One of my favorites is the dowsing rods. So I have those here to show off for anyone who is watching online. And for those who are just listening, dowsing rods are literally metal rods, usually made of copper or wood. Sometimes they are wooden. In history, from a non-spiritual standpoint, they have been used to find water. Right? Water sources, even metals or like gems and things back before they just dug stuff up. When you couldn't just dig something up with a metal detector or a whatever. They are basically the original form of metal detector without electronics involved. So they are, what is that? Did you say that's an L-shaped form? Right angles, right? There is a loose part that's always where your hands go. And then the metal actually comes up through that loose part. The metal bars themselves can actually flow freely, which is the cool part. So I can move my hand around, and if I move my hand, it is going to move the rods as I smack myself in the face. But I have to move a lot for it to actually move, right? And my goal is to hold these rods still using my hands and then letting spirit move them around. As you can see, they're already showing off because the way that my energy works and the fact that I've been playing with these so long with specific spirits, it's very easy for them to show off. And so what they're doing right now that I'm laughing at is the fact that they are answering or being a part of the conversation using yes and no questions. So as I'm saying something that is true, it is crossing.
Lie detector. The lie detector
Exactly. You can use them that way too, right? And then they'll put it back too straight so that they can then answer my next question, right? I'm just going to let her show off. As you can see, I'm not moving my hands at all. But some spirits like to give you hugs, which usually means they knock it out to your shoulders, which is a cute way to do it. Okay, now put it back because I'm too lazy to make it wobble. There you go. You show off so well. Okay. Yes, I know who I'm talking to. This is one that's very important on my team. We call her Fritz.
Do you like to use those for yes and no questions, or how do you like to use those rods?
So I love taking these to paranormal investigations with me.
Oh yeah.
And with like my friends who aren't necessarily comfortable with just the spirit stuff, I've been able to use them to give messages this way too, in a way that it feels more tangible to them. So it's just that fun in between.
Yeah.
You can do yes or no.
Okay.
You can do, hey Fritz, point at where you're standing, please.
Yeah.
So they both pointed to my right shoulder because that's where Fritz is standing. Now point back to the computer, please. Thank you. You're so awesome.
So cool.
Okay. You can also ask questions. So I could ask, we're going to make this up because it's not her age, but if I said, answer yes to this, okay? If I said, are you under the age of 10? And she gave us a yes because I asked her to, right? And if I said, if you're over the age of 20, nothing would happen. Or sometimes they'll spread out further apart as a no. So the language is just as varied as the person who's holding them. Not everyone can get them to move this freely. Some people can, some can't. It's all energy. Some spirits, it takes them a little bit to learn how to do it with me. Because with these, they are tapping into my energy to help it move easily.
Right.
So there is that extra level of connection that you might not be comfortable with. So they are not for everybody. But they are one of my favorites since I am so connected anyway. And I am capable of knowing who's around. So it's a little bit different for me than it is for others. So it is absolutely one of my favorites. Oh, thank you for the hug.
I like it too because that was another thing that was in my childhood home. And my mom grew up on a farm and they had it for water. They used that for water, or I don't know what else, but that was something I was aware that was in our home that people used. And when my mom uses them, they take off. Like, so it's cool. Yeah. And my brother too, but it was just something in the home that you didn't even recognize, where they were connected. You just didn't even think about it.
You don't think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have some friends who can get them to work, but not in the same way.
Yeah.
It's definitely an individual thing. Like some of us are just so open and whatever that it just goes all over.
Yeah.
I can always rely on Fritz to play with those.
Yeah.
Because she does like to show off.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. When you let me borrow those ones, and I didn't have hardly any luck.
Yeah.
So it was weird, the person, I think too, like I wanted it to balance, like there's just, was too in my head for that type of.
I was going to say, the biggest thing I found is that those logical analytical types tend to have the worst trouble with them.
I just kept trying to balance it. Like I wanted it to be perfectly balanced. It's like, that is not the goal here. You relax.
Whereas, the best thing you can do is actually to clear your mind and not think at all.
Yeah.
All you're doing is occasionally thinking of the question.
Yeah, right.
That's it. Otherwise, if you are too much in your head, if your thoughts are going too much, they have trouble connecting to your energy to really get them to move. And it takes practice, just like anything else. So they're not for everyone, but they are definitely one of my favorite tools.
Yeah. Yes.
What other types of divination tools, I can say these words, do you enjoy playing with, Jenny?
I have a pendulum, which I love.
Same concept as the dowsing rods.
Exactly the same. And this one I had it's funny because it's so much easier to be out of my head. Here's my pendulum.
Nice.
And it's,
I was going to laugh. I was like, you probably had a basic one. And no,
yeah,
silver versus gold.
yes,
We're both like, let's go for the big ones.
I know. And I
have a small one too.
For how I was using it and wanting to use it, I did do a little research on the types of pendulums that are good for how I wanted to use it. But
sure,
my story with the pendulum is my daughter had one. And after I was borrowed the rods of yours, I thought, let me just try the pendulum instead. And I was trying all different things, looking for items. I'd go in a room and see if it would go yes, see if it would go no. Like I was just trying everything with the pendulum. And then I thought, well, I'm going to move it through my chakra system. I know, so cool. And the pendulum took off. Like it just like, I was like, what is that? Like I couldn't believe what was happening. So
nice.
that's how I like to use mine to kind of balance my systems. I know. It's so cool.
I'm just letting it play.
That's why I like
it's the same concept.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they, it'll swing and then all of a sudden it'll stop. Like it does. So yeah. Yeah.
So like I just got mine to stop by clearing my mind. So I no longer had the question energy active. Mm-hmm. So now it's waiting for me to ask something else before it answers.
Yes.
And that's how dowsing rods, if you can clear your mind like that, it really helps.
Yes. So
it helps to be able to go completely silent in your head.
Well, and
not everyone can do that. It took me a long time to figure out how.
No, and I feel when I'm using this for myself or with clients, the peace I feel with the tool in my hand, it's like, it's such a cool feeling to feel that energy going through you and knowing you don't have to put anything else other than that hand. When you're reading for someone, you can feel it coming in. You got to use a couple more things, at least for me, to then write it down, what's coming in. Like this to me is a completely relaxing feeling for me, actually. Feel relaxed when I use the pendulum.
And that makes sense. Yeah. These types of tools I used a lot as I was getting comfortable with my abilities. The more I have gotten used to just having the information and trusting it, the less I necessarily need these, unless I'm having an off day or I just want the fun of the ritual of it. But they make such a great either entry level or just ritual routine way to do these. It is a great way to learn to trust yourself. And it doesn't matter what tool you use, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Are there any divination tools that you've heard of that you're like, nope, not going there?
Probably, and I don't even know if this is one, the Ouija board.
That's my I will not list.
I don't.
That's the only one on my will not list.
I do. I think that is one that, again, I don't know the history of that board. I don't know the history of how that board came about, how it was used. So I don't know what is tied to that.
The interesting part is it literally started as a child's game.
Okay.
It is the farthest thing from something you should give a child as possible.
Okay.
But it literally was a board game when it first came out.
Okay.
A fun party game, apparently.
Okay, I know nothing about it. And again, I didn't want to judge things too harshly because I might have said a while ago, I don't know about tarot, but I feel like that, I don't know the history on that. And so it's probably one.
I know there are people who use them and enjoy them and it works very well for them.
Okay.
And I 100% say kudos to them.
Okay.
I think that is so neat and I love that that works for them.
Right.
For me personally, it is not a tool I am comfortable trusting.
Yep.
I have heard too many negative stories from people in my life who have messed with them. And most importantly, every time I'm around one, my instincts, my personal radar says don't mess with this.
Yeah.
So for me, it is not a proper tool.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that it won't change one day and I'll pick one up and start playing with it. I am not a huge fan that they do put those out still as games, or that they make them so easily accessible.
Oh, yeah.
Because you are opening up things that the average person does not understand or know how to really truly interact with.
Right.
And to me, that would be like giving a weapon to a child.
Right.
You are looking for the potential of trauma.
Right.
You are looking for the potential of accidents because they don't really know what they're doing. At the same point in time, is there anything that is going to truly hurt someone? Depends.
Right.
Some of the stories I've heard have involved that, but they were older people, right?
Okay.
But to me, it's just a matter of we really should be teaching people before we put things like this in their hands. And that's really the main issue I have with it. I absolutely respect and admire those who use it and use it in a sensible way. And are able to use it in a way that helps too.
Right.
I've also been to paranormal investigations where I have ended up having to build trust with spirits from a completely different level because the people before us were doing things like playing with those and disrespecting the spirits. And so that's not just the pendulum or the Ouija board itself. Those were the types of people who were there doing them. But I don't really want to have to ever go through that again, and I don't want the spirits to either. Like, as paranormal investigators, you can traumatize the spirits. Let's not do that.
Why would we want to do that? No. No,
I mean, we traumatize each other enough. Let's leave the poor spirits out of it. But no, I look forward to having someone teach me more about it, someone who does it in a way that they have a lot of familiarity. I would love to do that. But it's just not something I'm comfortable with for myself. And I'm okay knowing that.
Yes. What are some things you would do that you have never done? Do you have any of those?
Ooh, I have a bag over here that's filled with runes. RUNES.
Okay.
They are stones or wooden, depending on where you get them from, that have specific symbols on them. And every symbol has a meaning.
Yes.
That is one I want to learn.
Okay. So then you kind of pick out one or how? Okay.
If you think of like the television shows of like bone throwing or the old dice games where you would just kind of toss them up, throw them out, where they land.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's
so
fun.
depending on what comes out, what is laying face up, what is, right? It's a form of scrying or a form of divination in that way. People do use bones for that. They use, there's all sorts of things that people use. Sticks.
Okay.
Anything you can throw, depending on how it lands, it could mean different things.
Yes.
It's just a language that they learn that helps them understand based on that.
Well, is that the same as like palm reading? Well, I guess that's not necessarily a tool, though. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
it's more of a. I would think that's more of a psychic. Ability.
Yeah.
Right. I guess you don't. Yeah. Do you have to be? Can you read palms without being psychic? Because not all of these tools need you to be psychic, right? You can do a tarot reading without any sort of psychic abilities at all.
Yeah.
It's all about understanding. You learn the language and put the language together to understand. Having the psychic abilities does help you fill in the blanks sometimes or give that extra oomph when you're having trouble understanding. So it can help, but it's not required. Palm reading is just it's lines that you learn what they mean and you go from there. So it could be considered, I would think, considered a divination tool.
Because you can tell.
It is a language like that.
Yeah. Because I can tell when I pick cards for somebody when something's coming in. Like, I can read the cards, tell them what the cards mean and what it means to them and have that conversation. But all of a sudden you can feel yep, there's something here. Give me a moment.
That extra little piece of information.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I do feel
Absolutely.
when I read for other people too, me showing up as that clear channel is kind of my job. And then also if I'm getting other stuff, but yeah. And then you mentioned tea readings.
There are things.
Tell me about that.
It's my understanding, I haven't done these yet, but it's my understanding that with tea readings, it's all about you brew the tea, you drink the tea, and then you look at the leftover remnants at the bottom of the cup.
Right.
And basically the symbolism and things that come to you from that.
Yep.
It goes right along with, there are people who use, it's eggomancy, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
There is one that is using eggs. Hang on, I wrote down the name. I want to, it just says egg readings. But basically you take the egg and crack it into water. So like say you are making egg drop soup.
Okay.
And you're cracking that egg into the water. The way the shapes that are formed while it's being in that water.
Yes.
The way that it cooks itself.
Okay.
That would tell you something.
Like that.
The different way it's spinning, the different shapes it makes, etc. So like people will use tea, they'll use eggs, they'll use anything that can possibly make a shape.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then there's scrying. Do you know much about scrying?
I know nothing about this.
There's lots of ways to scry. Okay. Scrying is staring at a fixed object. Not always a fixed object. You can scry in candles as well, like the flame of a candle.
Yeah.
But staring at one thing, and then it basically takes your brain and gives it something to focus on and distracts it. So then the symbols and the visions and things can come that way.
Yeah. I know
water, mirrors.
Yes.
There's a really cool reader on YouTube that I watch that does tarot, and she scries using ink blots and has some really, really cool, like printed out ink blot things that someone made that she uses for those. And that's fascinating.
I bet.
What else? The flame. I've definitely always been drawn to like campfires and candle flames. Those are the ones that I can stare at and get lost in my head, which is essentially scrying.
Yeah. I usually think of that as like gazing. I think I use that word gazing.
Same concept.
Yeah,
same concept. Different name, different word for the same meaning.
Right. Yep.
Technically, you can stare at someone long enough and it takes their face out of it and you start seeing things. It's kind of fun. But that would be the same for like aura reading. That's a type of divination.
That's exactly what when I try and look at the aura of something, that's kind of exactly what I'm doing. Yeah.
Exactly. You're literally just scrying or gazing.
Yes.
And then letting that information come to you.
And
it just, as far as I understand it, it just gives your logical brain something to focus on to shut it up long enough for the other information to come through. Right? Because it's usually what distracts us from that the most.
Sometimes I'll be watching TV and I know I'm not even really paying attention. You know, it's just kind of on, and all of a sudden it's like, and a lot of times that's when it's the clairvoyance, the seeing is coming through because my eyes are just doing, and it gives it time to relax, and then I get those things. It's kind of cool to think, oh, that's usually why I'm not seeing something, because my eyes are always trying to make sense of it. But when my eyes aren't and they're distracted, all of a sudden the clairvoyance it's clear.
That other information comes through.
I know.
Yeah. It's like the logic brain or the physical senses drown out the rest of it.
Yeah.
And we have to find ways of helping to quiet those in order to let that really soft stuff come through.
Yes.
Video games like that are for me.
Oh, yeah.
When I sit down and play video games, I am almost always playing them with spirit because A, some of them just love video games too.
Right.
And B, my mind does that quietness because I'm usually playing, I don't play the shoot 'em up games. I'm usually playing like the farming games where my brain just quiets down before bed. And I can hear them that much louder because that part of my brain does get distracted focusing on making the character move. And now I've got their thoughts going too.
Yeah.
Technically, if you go online and you look up divination tools or concepts, there is something for everything. Anything you do can basically be considered a divination tool.
Yeah.
That is what I learned this week. But my two favorites that were so funny, the first one they call shufflemancy, which is also called a radio oracle, which basically is putting a shuffle on your music device, asking a question, and whatever the next song comes through, considering that an answer. I've been doing that since forever.
Right.
Mine's always on shuffle, period.
Yeah.
And it is not uncommon for me to ask a question, and then the next song I'm like, oh, that's the answer right there, because it fits so well.
Yep.
I didn't realize that was a thing. It's apparently an official thing. It's not just a me thing.
I think I would love that one.
The other one I saw that I loved, they call it gyromancy or gyromancy. It is literally walking in a circle until you get dizzy. And then whichever way your body naturally goes to is the path you should go down.
Wow.
Right or left? Let's go.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's a fun one.
That one I won't be trying.
No, I feel like I did that a lot as a kid, though. If you got to make yourself dizzy to get the answer, I guess that works too.
Shake it up a little bit in there. Yeah.
There are I am being given the direction that we do want to talk a little bit, because on this channel I talk about these fun things, but then I also talk about some of the more proper ways to use them, I guess is the way to do it. The healthier. Let's go with healthier ways to use things versus unhealthy ways.
Oh, good.
These tools are great. They're great learning. They're fun to play with. Have fun with that. But the spirit world is very loud about the fact that you do have to be conscious. That's the right word. I'm just not sure I said it right because it sounded weird to me. Pay attention to the way that you use them and the way you feel when you use them. As humans, we have a habit of looking to things outside of ourselves to give us answers to the extreme, right? There are people that come to me as a psychic looking for answers on things that they already knew. And they just want to hear it from me because it's easier than trusting themselves. So when it comes to tools like this, they are a great resource to help you find clarification, to help you figure out where you stand with things. But there are some people who take it maybe a little too far. There are people who take pendulums to the restaurant with them to pick a lunch, or to make major life decisions. They absolutely cannot do anything unless they talk to the tarot, right? When it comes to the point of I can't make a decision without a tool, it's gone too far. Because the most important thing is, as humans, is to have our free will.
Yes.
And if we give up our free will to tools like this, we are giving away our power. Use your brains, use your intuition, right? Pay attention to yourself.
Yes.
We all have those moments where we stress out and we just want answers and we go looking for the answers. That's fine and dandy. Do not trust it if you are overly emotional. Right? If you're going through a breakup, what is going to come through is not going to be the most positive. Because you emotionally, you are not in the space to have that. So just know that A, you affect it. B, don't become so reliant on these that you can't make a decision for yourself. Because that's not living. That's looking for something else to live for you. And that goes against everything Spirit tells us about why we're here and what we're supposed to be.
Well said. And I completely agree.
They're like, hey, perhaps we should talk about the hard stuff here.
No, but that...
I know I absolutely go against a lot of people when I talk like that. But I was raised to believe my favorite saying, I have no clue where the saying came from. My grandmother used it, but I know it wasn't hers specifically. It's be open-minded, but not so open-minded that your brain falls out.
No. No,
right?
that sounds, yep.
We absolutely want to be open-minded. Yep. We want to have fun. We want to take everything into account. Yes. Anything is possible, literally, yes. Right? So be open-minded to that. But don't lose your ability to have discernment or to choose for yourself or to know what feels right and wrong to you because you are so busy letting other people tell you what it is.
Yeah. Don't give your power away to the tool.
And that means to the tool as well.
Yes.
Because they are meant to be a tool to help you, not a tool to do the work for you.
No.
And just like anything else, if you feel yourself becoming slightly addicted, put it to the side and don't touch it for a little bit. Get yourself back in the right energy and then come back.
Yep. Yeah.
If I find myself asking the tarot card the same question more than twice in a week, I say I do not need to know because clearly I'm just stuck and it's not going to help.
I do the same thing. I'm like, you are not doing a 9-card pull but once on your birthday.
Just one more card. Just one more card. Yeah. Well, this is going to clear. No, that's not telling me anything more. How about something else? What's another card? You just drive yourself crazy after a while.
We're not
at that
doing
point,
that.
It's just a live through it and see what happens.
We're not, we're not doing that. No.
All right, Jenny, now is the time for you to go over your list to see if there's any questions that you want to go over real quick.
I think we hit them all. Yeah, we hit them all. I think we did a great job.
So thank you guys for coming today. It has been a, not saying fun, fantastic night of chatting with Jenny and you, though we can't really chat with you because we're not live, but maybe we'll do a live one day because that would be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Hope you learned a lot about divination or at least had some new ideas and ways to think about it. If you do have any comments, questions, feel free to drop them in whatever program you are watching us on or listening to us on. We would love to actually interact with you guys. It gives us something to do more than just talk to each other, though that is fun too. As always, hit like, subscribe, help us out, do what we need to, help other people find us. We greatly appreciate it. We are sending you love and light, and until next time.